All right, let's get down to the specifics of Crohn's disease. Crohn's belongs to a family of diseases called inflammatory bowel disease, or IBD for short. Crohn's is a chronic condition, meaning once you've got it for life. It can attack any part of the GI tract from the mouth all the way to the anus. Crohn's usually begins at the lower part of the small intestine or small bowel, called the terminal ileum, and the upper part of the large intestine or colon, called the cecum. It can cause symptoms like abdominal pain, diarrhea, nausea, fatigue, loss of appetite, and weight. It gets its name from Dr. Crohn, who first described it in 1932, though he didn't actually have the disease. Ulcerative colitis is the other major type of IBD, but it has some major differences from Crohn's disease. Ulcerative colitis only affects the inner lining of the large intestine. In Crohn's, you can get inflamed, irritated patches of lining anywhere along the GI tract, and the inflammation can go through to the inner and outer lining of the intestines. Crohn's can also lead to a narrowing of the intestines called stenosis, or sometimes to something called a fistula, which is a connection from the bowel to other parts of the body, such as the skin. In IBD, your body's immune system is somewhat confused and sends white blood cells to the GI tract, which causes inflammation. At any rate, this response causes the lining of your gut to get inflamed, and the harmful substances produced by the white blood cells eventually lead to breaks in the lining called ulcers, along with other damage, causing the symptoms of Crohn's and ulcerative colitis. Research shows that the inflammation of Crohn's occurs due to several things, including your genes, your immune system, and the environment. Scientists have also found that high levels of a protein made by the immune system, called tumor necrosis factor, or TNF for short, are present in people with Crohn's disease. Sorry if we're getting a bit technical here, but that's the science of medicine for you. Living with Crohn's means you'll probably go through good periods with no symptoms called remissions, and not so good periods when your disease activity increases, commonly called relapses or flares. The frustrating thing is that the pattern of remission and relapse will be fairly unpredictable, coming and going in a changing pattern. You may have long periods of remission, sometimes years, but the disease will usually relapse at various times throughout your life. Predicting when a remission or symptom flare may occur is not possible at this time, nor is there a cure. But researchers are working hard to change all that as soon as possible. The most important thing for you and your doctor is to try and get your disease in full remission, which means being symptom-free. So now that I've given you the not-so-good news, I'll finish off with a little good news. Even though Crohn's is a chronic disease with many different symptoms and affects people differently, it is not fatal. In fact, most people lead productive lives with this disease. You may need to take different medications and deal with symptom flares from time to time, and even the occasional hospitalization or surgery. It's different for everyone. Just remember that you will have the support of your healthcare team, family, and friends in your efforts to manage your condition. And when you're in remission, you may be relatively free of symptoms and hopefully doing what works to stay in remission for as long as possible. At any rate, try not to worry about your next relapse. I want you working towards your next remission and planning to enjoy life to the fullest of your ability when your symptoms settle down. How about checking out some interesting fast facts about Crohn's? Or you may want to visit the Living with Crohn's section. Make your choice.